independence, Second Republic, there were things that were used as political campaigns.
Same issues.
Here we are still talking about the same thing. What do you think is responsible for these things?
Poor leadership. Plain and simple. It's easy. It's poor leadership because I find it quite puzzling that in 40 years, at least, let's cap it to the 80s now. In 40 years, we've been grappling with the same issues. I saw that you scrolled a couple of dailies from 86, 84. And then you get to ask yourself, how is it possible that certain folks that campaigned back then with those same issues are campaigning with the same issues today? It's really just an issue of poor leadership, and it is very unfortunate that we have found ourselves in this kind of position. With the kind of country Nigeria is, with immense potential we have, human capital, natural resources. But it is quite unfortunate. What I would say is, get your PVCs. honestly, get your PVCs next year. So we're doing a lot of complaining now, and I believe that all these issues should spur us to also be politically aware. Next year we're having general elections. We should get our PVCs from now. Register. You need to change your polling centers. Do all you need to do
now,
because we cannot continue on this path. It is just not sustainable. In the last couple of days and last couple of weeks, everything has almost been ground into a halt. You talked about the national grid collapsing 3 times this year. Collapsed 2 times this week. The national grid. And when we talk about decentralization, now let me use that word before I say the word that they don't like to hear. When we talk about decentralization of everything, the power grid is also part of what we're talking about. What is so difficult with the states generating their own power? Why is that so difficult? Why do we have to get every single thing from the center? So we're talking about restructuring, which is the word they don't want to hear, but they have to hear it. These are part of the issues we're talking about, because what we have currently is not working. It is inefficient. And someone said that doing the same thing and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. Can we try something different? As opposed to saying that everything has to be political in nature. Can we try something different to see that we have a nation that people are productive? In the last couple of days, a lot of businesses have had to spend over 100% to 120, 150% on diesel.
Yeah, that's
By
true.
Monday, if this continues on this current trajectory, a lot of offices are considering shutting down. Some are considering going back to working from home. Some don't have that kind of luxury. So they're saying, some are already sending messages to their customers and clients saying that from next week Monday, we'll likely be running maybe half capacity, we'll likely be shutting down, and we're saying that we're broke and we're expecting taxes to come from these businesses. How does that work exactly? So we just have to be very deliberate about the kind of leadership that we want in this country and how we want this country to move forward, because truth be told, this is really, really just not sustainable.
Well, as much as one would say power or power generation or electricity is capital intensive, but others would say it's not rocket science.
It's really not.
The point there is we have younger African countries or other small African countries who are maintaining and sustaining the electricity, whatever they have.
Yes.
They may not have the backbone or the capacity we have, but they've been able to maintain and sustain, whatever they have for a period of time. You hear of Rwanda, you go there, it looks like it's a success story from left, right, center, up, down, in and out, everywhere, things are working. And when you talk about the Rwandan dream, because we hear citizens have started talking about the Rwandan dream, they're getting closer to it. And they have projections. 5 years, we should be able to achieve this. 10 years, we should be able to achieve this. 20 years, and those milestones in the last 5 years, they've been able to meet those milestones. All of the promises made, or most of the promises made, they've been able to meet them, and all of that. You liken that to Nigeria. Now, the point there is, government signed a contract with Siemens sometime just a few years ago, promising that by 2022, we should have had close to about 12 hours of electricity. What is going on with such kind of contracts?
Well, the question is, for those that signed the contracts, are they looking back to talk to Siemens and other stakeholders to hold them to task, saying that these were the deliverables we were given, these were the promises made, these are the letters of the contract? You're not abiding by them. What are the challenges? Do you have challenges from your end, or the challenges are from our end? How can we bridge the gap? That is where we get to see effective leadership. You talked about Rwanda. Yes, and I'll go back to the first statement I made about leadership. Rwanda today and other nations that work are a product of effective leadership, deliberate leadership. We talk about this every other day, that leadership, there's no way we can remove ourselves from the implications of leadership, either good or bad, either poor or effective. But this is the point. Can we say that enough is enough? We want to get at least one part of our system going. We're still grappling with the issue of fuel scarcity in the last couple of weeks, stemming from different factors, which ultimately started from having contaminated fuel being discharged into people's vehicles, into people's generators.
We're still waiting for action.
We're still waiting for action on that. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of commiseration. There's been a lot of emotions being expressed.
Yeah.
We're seeing emotions being expressed, but we elected you to be people of action, not express emotion. Not saying that, oh, you know what, we feel bad, we're sorry for this. We don't want apologies. We want action. Till today, nobody has been held accountable. Nobody's in jail. Because the fact remains that it is a criminal offense.